Welcome to Alex for Corals. This is another update to my systems. This is Alex Wilson, and so yeah, let me get here. So take my 3 gallon Lifeguard Aquatics aquarium, and so today I would like to give you an update. I have my my Crocea clam right here, Tridactylid Crocea, and it's doing pretty good. I have them on this base right here, and that's a little piece of marble, because they're called the Croceas are also known as the boring clams because they like to attach themselves to a piece of rock and will eventually emit a little bit of acid and bore straight through into the rock, so they can kind of get a little groove in there. And the same thing of the Tridactylid maximas will do the same. And so that's why I have them on there. It's practical to kind of like a plug to keep them secure, and you can easily move them around from area, spot to spot. And so otherwise they can attach to a rock, and then you have to move the whole rock or cut his foot that's attached there. And I've done that before. It's okay, but they recommend doing that when you don't have to. And so yeah, I would like to mention a few things on them. There's 2 diseases that you want to look out for right now. One of the biggest things out there is called the pinched mantle disease, or pinched mantle syndrome. And this pinched mantle disease is just that the clam will have a pinched mantle on a specific spot, and it'll stay there in that specific spot day after day. It'll be irritated. And so one of the ways that they say that you can get rid of that is through freshwater dips when you get the clams. And so apparently traditionally that's something that's in widespread use throughout aquaculture facilities and everything with these clams, that they tolerate that just fine. A 30-minute bath in your purified water, same temperature, and yeah, this guy passed through it no problems. And they also say the Croceas that they could probably take even longer than that than the other species of clams. But yeah, I would recommend just the 30 minutes, no problems. And the other thing you want to look out for clams, right, are the dreaded pyramid white snails. And these are the little snails, along with their eggs. They'll be all around underneath the mantle, especially underneath the foot on the base, and they'll come out especially at night and feed on the clam, and will decimate the clam pretty good. So when I got this guy, I inspected him with a toothbrush pretty good and scrubbed him off everywhere, looking for any sign of the snails and their eggs. And this one was 100% clean, but it's something you always want to keep an eye out for with these clams. And so it's, and the snails, they cruise around from clam to clam, apparently. And as far as the pinched mantle disease, apparently it's a little bit of a kind of related to the area in which it's at, like clam next to clam, as opposed to something that's just floating into the water in just like one whole system. So yeah, that's what I heard on these guys. And I've had them in the past, and I've had them with regal angels and some other angels, but I would say it's not recommended. I mean, because they can eventually start to pick on them, or just a little bit in the early morning, you might not see them type thing. So that's just one thing, to consider as well with them. And this guy, he's a green Crocea clam, except on the camera here, he's coming out pretty blue, and especially from the top. Right, okay, I've got over here my Steve Garrett Stylophora, and he's doing pretty good, except for, as I mentioned, he had tissue loss on the top right there from over light exposure at the beginning, I think. And so that's why I kicked in the Kessel acclimation mode. I highly recommend that, or you use the Innovative Marine Mobius has acclimation mode as well, right? So yeah, and he's looking okay with the pulp extension recently. And I have some additional tissue loss right here, if you can see it on the bottom. And I believe that's from when I overdid it with the hydrogen peroxide that I was using to clean the base plug of the algae that was growing there. So look out for that. You don't want to get it on the coral whatsoever if possible. And I would even recommend, like the normal, well, use a 3% solution, but use either the 2, 1, or even less percentage solution, and just to be on the safe side with these guys, right? And so right here, I have the lights are on a more of the wider spectrum right now. And so yeah, the hydrogen peroxide that I use, this one right here, this is the essential oxygen. Now this is the food grade hydrogen peroxide. So I would highly recommend this over your normal hydrogen peroxide, because your normal hydrogen peroxide has stabilizing agents in it that are a little bit on the toxic side, as I understand it. Now that's the reason why, if you notice these hydrogen peroxide bottles, that they come in a brown bottle, and that's to indicate that it has these stabilizing agents in them, and that they can't be exposed to sunlight. And if it is, you'll have a chemical reaction in there. And so if you get these food grade hydrogen peroxide, it's not in a brown bottle, and it doesn't have those stabilizing toxic chemicals in them. So this is certainly a good idea for anything aquarium related, as well as just as far as just in your house use. And it's a little bit more expensive. It's not too bad. I got this on Amazon, I believe. And so, as well as far as my coral dips are concerned, I also have I'm running the Coral RX and the Revive. Well, one or the other. They're both kind of a herbal solutions for flatworms and other types of small parasites like that. And then I'm using the Reef dip, and this is iodine-based CChem. And so this is just kind of like a general disinfectant. It's to try to prevent bacterial and fungus and protozoan infections on your corals, right? And so I also have the Brightwell Aquatics Frag Recoverer, and as I understand it, this is just like a vitamin boost and type of thing, for the corals just coming through the dips. And so yeah, this is what I've heard of that are pretty good solutions to the dip. And I'd also like to show you my stand over here that I got from Innovative Marine, and I'm pretty happy with it. This is the one I was telling you about that is all aluminum, and the panels on the sides there are a type of like glass like plastic, I believe, but it's real high quality. Really satisfied with that. And so I decided to go ahead and go with Innovative Marine. It's called the SR80, and this is their all-in-one system. And that's just the same as the water box frag, the 16 inches tall. So I decided to go ahead and get this one with the all-in-one, because I think it's going to be much more simple if I can get away with just having it in the back and having the extra complication or extra complexity having a sump down there, the overflow, and a pumping it back up and maintaining all that space and everything. Like to just have it all in one, because I've had my 3-gallon and as well as my other 10-gallons that are Innovative Marine all-in-one systems, and I really like them so far. This my stuff that I think is the best. I'm gonna lose about 3 inches or so, across the back of space But on the flip side, I'm gonna have underneath all of the space for extra whatever, right? The electrical and all the other gear and everything. Um, I had originally decided to go with the sump because I thought that, well, like if I needed a chiller, I could use a drop-in cyclone probe chiller, and I could easily do that. But I think that I could just go ahead and get away with running straight cooling fans here. And if the reason I was kind of against that is because the evaporations were really high. But if worst case scenario, if there's too much evaporation, I can just connect my purified water straight up to the automatic top off on it and just go with that. But yeah, if you want to check it out as well, it's nice. 3 doors in the front, open straight up out, as well as on both sides. So let's see. There's one side there. And the other side here. So yeah, a lot of space under there. Really nice construction, really nice build. And so I had to put it together myself, of course. Well, not ideally. Ideally, I wish it would have came assembled, but okay. As I had to put it together myself, so it wasn't that bad. It wasn't that hard. It has some just like bolts that you turn in there that all the different pieces will latch on. They latch together with. So not bad overall. I'd highly recommend it. Nice shelf, lots of space. And so, well, the black color, that's one thing. It was a matte black. I would certainly have preferred a high gloss black because it just is a gloss finish. Is just much easier to clean. And also, I'd like to talk about briefly this Tropic Marines All-For-Reef. So this is also known as a calcium formate based system for your calcium and alkalinity levels. And yeah, if you haven't heard, this stuff is the absolute best and easiest solution out there. It's called the Tropic Marines All-For-Reef. Now, the All-For-Reef, the only disadvantage of it is just it's a little expensive, and they were saying that it was a little expensive as far as just because you're buying it mixed already in the water and everything right in the liquid form. But it's a lot cheaper if you buy it in just in the powder forms, right? So they have the products here as described by a bulk reef supply, right, where you have the elements here, then you mix them together and it makes the Tropic Marines All-For-Reef product yourself at home, and it's extremely stable. And an idea with, if you're not familiar, the calcium formate, the All-For-Reef system solutions, is that it's not like your calcium hydroxide kalkwasser, because kalkwasser is super diluted, right? And it's super that causes an extreme pH swing, and it's extremely caustic, and it's causes a lot of precipitation. And so this is the same as your 2-part solution, but why have a 2-part or 3-part when you just have a 1-part, right? So it's a lot easier. You just have your 1 part, and you just dose it right in there. You don't have to have a doser and all that. You just do it once daily and dose it by hand, and that's the solution. It's calcium formate, and they say it's a type of calcium that goes in the system, and it's actually isn't released all of it at once. It goes through some chemical processes involving some bacteria, I believe, and it's kind of a slow release action. And it's it's similar as it's just one solution, so it doesn't cause any type of unbalance as far as your salinity or anything else, right? So yeah, it's just a mix of their carbocalcium is the base, added with biomagnesium, and then optionally you can add in the the trace elements, right? So you add in their A minus and their K plus potassium trace elements, and that's a full solution. So it's just it makes a lot of sense. It's just all in one solution, and it covers all your bases. So for me, it's great. And so I'll give an update to on my other 10 gallons over here, and the 4 corals that I got from Coral Euphoria. So I'd like to thank Abe over there that so far at least this coral's doing good. And there's a shot of them right there. So I still got the 2. I got the Red Robin right there, Red Robin and Acropora frag, as well as the Red Dragon, and then in the back there Branching Cephastria, and to the left the Montipora, that's the green or the orange digitata branching coral. So yeah, they're doing pretty good. See if I can get a close up of them. And so this Red Robin, well, he's kind of just brownish so far. So hopefully he's color up and see if I actually get some red out of him. He's called the Red Robin. So from the other pictures I saw, and especially the mother colony there, they're pretty wild red, and kind of and some other colors in there too, as I believe. But yeah, he's got some real small Acropora polyps on there, a little bit of extension. He's doing okay. Got the Red Dragon, and when I got this guy, when I popped him out of the cup, that he came in accidentally broke the tip of it off, but it looks pretty good that the colors come back, the tissue back over the spot where it broke off at the top. So it's hard to get the focus, but there we go. And so he's doing okay, as well as a close up of the digitata Montipora. That's the orange with the green base. And then back to Cephastria. So yeah, they're doing pretty good as this week. So yeah, I guess that's it for now, and I'll see you guys on the next episode. So keep reefing. Bye.